mouse pad?
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the podcast. We got
Hell
a
yeah.
special one for y'all. This is the Crispy Whip episode.
Hell yeah.
I just broke my teeth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
pain.
Oof.
If you guys don't know, you should know by now. My name's CP.
Whip Trip.
My gamer tag's Crispy Chris, though. So that's why it's the Crispy Whip.
Crispy Whip.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Nice. The rest of the guys are working and ill.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of commission, man. Fucking. And apparently even Josh is like feeling some type of way today.
Dang.
So I don't know what's up with that. I was sick last week, obviously, as you
Dude,
know.
Yeah.
But that was unrelated. I think.
I
at
feel
the
like
very least.
we need. I'm gonna buy this house some elderberry or something,
Bro.
Because at this point, what is
Yeah.
going on?
I mean, there's just a lot of people around here, bro. So like,
Yeah,
you know
true.
how it goes.
In and out.
Lots
constantly.
of shared space. Whole
True.
lot of incubation going on.
Hell yeah! How you feeling, boss? Let's talk about our week.
Yeah, I mean, hell, my week was in the hospital.
Stop.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Did you not hear about this?
I thought it was COVID.
No, I didn't get COVID. So we got COVID like 3 weeks ago, but then this
Okay.
past week I was basically cyclically vomiting because of there's like some rare like blood thing you can get from basically over time if you smoke consistently enough, it'll build up in your system and it'll cause you to like purge basically.
Whoa.
And it's real scary. I've had it a couple times, so I'm just gonna have to like
Ease off.
ease off for sure.
Respect.
So it is
Glad
what it
you're
is.
doing better though, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not heard of that. Kids out there, do you?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Nothing wrong with smoking weed. Just maybe don't start when you're 16 and never stop. You know?
I feel that. What was my week like? Were you at Carl?
Yeah, I
the
was at
the big dog.
Big dog. Those beds so uncomfortable. And the worst ones. The worst ones are the beds that will like you'll adjust to get comfortable,
Yeah.
and then the bed like fills in the space. So
Oh
you're
my
kind of like,
God.
oh, I just got comfortable.
I
What's
hate
going
this.
on?
Dude,
Yeah.
why did I not know this? I feel like I would have pulled up. We could have played some Fortnite or something. Like I
Nah,
would
not
have
in the
brought the
hospital. I
gang.
was bedridden, man. It was.
Oh, it was that bad.
It was not at the start. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like I was writhing,
Okay.
kind of in pain.
Nice.
Thankfully, you know, they got me on an IV. They got me some anti-nausea, some pain meds. So
Yeah,
I
the
was
whole
kind of
nine.
conked out for half of it. But
Okay.
you know, still, they're coming back with tests. We'll see.
Okay, cool.
You know what comes of it. But
How's that hospital food? How'd that
Oh,
do you?
dude, the worst part is I was like they were stepping up my diet, right? Because when
Uh-huh.
you're sick like that, they want to start you off like clear liquids and work you
Yup.
up. So the first time they tried me on solid food, they gave me I ordered a grilled cheese, right? I was like, that's simple enough, right?
Yeah.
I get there or it gets to my room and that shit is literally solid like a
Bro,
fucking cheese
my
brick.
gosh.
I'm like, dog, you can't even. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's a hospital. It's not gourmet, but like, I'm supposed to be able to eat this.
Yeah, like
You
even
know?
in like well health, I don't want this,
Right.
even if I'm doing okay.
Yeah, exactly. It was
Man.
not good.
Yeah, I've had some hospital food. It's just step it up, man. Like, come on, hospitals. I know if the doctor doesn't want to eat it, then why are you giving it to your patients? That's my
For real.
take. But
Literally every nurse is like, "How's that hospital food?"
yeah,
You know what
okay,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
right.
Like,
Like, they know what's up,
they
so
know.
like fix it. Man, healthcare in this country. My dad, last week I had to take him to get his wisdom tooth removed, and love my dad, man, but he didn't want to go under because he's like, I don't know what they're gonna do to me
Bro.
when I'm under. So I'm like, you know what, respect, because I also like being in public health. I understand how minorities are really underserved, like within the health community,
Yeah.
and they do some weird stuff. Yeah, they do weird stuff. But I was like, Dad, like it's just a wisdom tooth of all things.
Of all things.
Relax.
They're coming for all of his teeth. Apparently,
Right.
like, man's gonna wake up with nothing.
Bro, that would be funny.
Old denture ass.
My week was decent. I was I took a little guy's trip up to the city to Chicago. It was a good time. They went to the Bulls game, and afterwards we kind of went out. And I want your take on this.
Okay.
Would you consider yourself more of a city boy or like not at all? Like some point do you want to be?
No, I am pretty much always been like this, or maybe like double the size is
Yeah.
about where I cut off
Yeah.
for me, like living wise. Because if I can't drive, 15, 20 minutes out and be out of town, that like
much.
too much. It's like I can't escape at that point,
No, for real.
and not even considering the cost of living, not even considering transportation, like all these factors that go into
we're
living in a
Ubering
city. Like
everywhere. I'm like, whoa,
Uber
I have
everywhere.
a whole car.
Yeah.
Rolls in my vid.
yeah, I have a whole car. I can get anywhere I want to.
Yep.
I wish we had better public transportation infrastructure so not everyone needed a car.
Right.
But that's a whole different conversation than city living, which even in some of the best cities in America, they pale in comparison to the public transport and options available to the citizenry of other countries.
And it's also just intimidating for me personally. Like whenever people start talking about taking like the red line, the L, I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what y'all are talking about. Like they're just like, oh, just take the L, dude. I'm okay. I pull up to take the L. I end up in some weird neighborhood. Last time that I was there for Lollapalooza, and I'm like a little bit, under the influence. At this point, I'm like, don't say nothing. Just like keep it pushing until I get back to somewhere with street lights.
Yeah,
like,
eyes forward.
Yeah.
Like
this isn't where I belong, but I still like. I don't know. It's give and take. I want to experience it for maybe like 3-5 years and then be out of it. Just because. Why not? I'm bored.
I feel like that's what a lot of young people do. They'll go to the city, like ball out for however long, and then settle down and move somewhere like Champaign.
Yeah, literally.
Literally. That's what my fucking parents did. It's what I know a lot of people in this town did.
Yeah.
So it's like, it is what it is. Obviously there are things that we don't have that are available in big cities, but at the same time, it's like, what are you giving up for that convenience?
Yeah. Agreed. There was this, what else happened in the city? Oh my gosh, there was this old black man. Respect, love, support your black businesses.
True.
Dude was on the street hustling, selling Polish sausages. Dude.
Yeah.
And we had just left like, it wasn't even a club at all. It was a bar with a club vibe, which is like a hole in the wall in Chicago because that's not a thing, I feel like. But this Polish sausage is the best sausage I've ever had in my life.
Damn, okay.
Revolutionary. So good.
It's the street vendors, bro. They're secret hitters,
honestly.
bro. Like, some of the best food I've ever had comes out of like a food truck. You know what I'm saying?
Point blank, period.
You ever been to what's that shit? Moe's burrito truck up here?
It was a problem at one point.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
You know. Oh yeah.
They knew me by name, and I was at the point I was trying to learn Spanish, right? I was on Duolingo, Busuu, like just all these different apps trying to learn Spanish. And I would pull up, and over time, like at first they looked at me like a goofy. They're like, "What's this dude talking about?"
Right.
But I was like, "I'm trying to learn Spanish, so I'm gonna come up here and like practice because I need it. I want to like what is it called when you fully go into something?
Like what? Like integrated speech or something like that?
Yeah, just fully dive in. And so I was like, this is one of my spots. I would go there. I would go to this Mexican store that we have in town, and I would just sit down and talk. El Progreso, you go there ever?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's nice. They have a little restaurant in there. You should check it out.
Okay.
Good food, but I'll go there. I'll sit down and like at first they used to ha kiki, and then they're like, hey perro, which is like brother or something like that. So that
perro
feels
is
good.
Like, what's up, my dog?
Yeah,
like, type shit. What up, dog?
Yeah. At that point, I was like, I'm valid. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
True.
It is what it is.
Any other crazy events happen up?
No, I intimately, not just me, but the group that I was with intimately got like patted down on the way inside.
Okay.
I was, dude was like in my pockets feeling everything, and I had my glasses in there because I wear contacts when I'm outside,
Yeah.
But he's like rubbing up on my lenses, and I'm just like, I don't know where your hands have been,
bro.
Like,
that's so gross.
Stop. I know. I was like, dude, this is nasty. And then I like played the Poindexter card, like the nerd card. I was like, I'm not a threat. I have my glasses to worry about.
Yeah.
And dude immediately like just like fell off. Like he was like, "Oh, you're right. Like go inside." I was like, "Yeah."
That's so crazy.
uh,
Doorman, or I don't know, the fucking I'll still never forget the Jay Lero show. That was the first time I got patted down at Canopy. I was like,
yeah.
"What's this? What's up with the door?" Like, it was a busting show though. So I guess got to take that extra precaution. But
True. Yeah. Because I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but at one point, like a bunch of the U of I guys, the basketball team got into a fight. People were getting stabbed, and like
damn,
I think it was like 4 to 5 of our players were in jail that night. And
that's crazy.
It was a bad look for the university overall.
I ain't heard of that. That's wild. Damn.
I don't remember when it was, but it happened. It was at Canopy too. So
True.
the first time you guys had a show at Canopy, I was a little like, do I need to bring my knife or no? No, I'm kidding. Ish.
I mean, you know what it is like. There's some hard niggas in this town that'll do some shit. But you just gotta play it cool. Nobody's trying to get involved if they don't have to.
Yeah.
Type deal. So
yeah, for sure. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? How you feeling, bro? Is there anything on your mind you want to talk about? Shoot the shit about?
I mean, I don't know how closely you follow politics, but CPAC is going on right now.
Fill me in.
CPAC is like a conservative conference that they hold whenever they hold it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like they have CPAC every fucking 3 months, it seems like at this point. But there was the biggest news story out of CPAC was Michael Knowles, who's like a crazy weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
He said something along the lines of transgenderism must be eradicated. And I was like, oh, okay, so we're just advocating genocide now. Like, and he got claps, cheers, and applause. And I'm like, okay, so you guys just want to see queer people dead is really what it is.
That is sick.
Yeah, it is. It's sickening.
It reminds me of like modern day Hitler. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Like why are you talking like that? Just.
It's.
Why?
I mean, and it even like historically, you could even draw comparisons to the rise of Hitler, like easily, like within, Hitler was around for, years before the World War started.
Yep.
And in that time, he was persecuting socialists, persecuting queer people, killing trans people, like burning. There was, in the Weimar Republic before Hitler took over, there was some institute, I forget the name, but it was like pushing the boundaries of like trans research, transitioning for people with gender dysphoria, and they just completely destroyed everything and set back, trans medicalism like years and like decades almost, just by book burning, and Nazis love book burning, man. It's kind of insane. Yeah. They're just
that's messed up. I definitely like. I don't know. Sometimes I think about like my struggles. Sometimes as just like being a black man, and then I think about everybody else's struggles, and I forget that like for example, trans people or like especially anybody on the anything that revolves around like sexuality, they get no attention. Like the totem pole of we're gonna fight for this. Yeah. They're at the bottom.
The hierarchy of privilege, I guess.
Yeah,
you could call
that matters. And I'm like, whoa. I need to check myself often and remember, like, I'm not the only group going through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like as much as it sucks to see that rhetoric.
Yeah.
As a cis man, it's like I can't even imagine what trans people are going through right now with the state of this country. I mean, anti-trans bills are being passed left and right. There's even legislation, I think, in Iowa to ban gay marriage again.
Whoa.
Which is like insane to me. So it's these conservatives are just pushing their ideology and claiming that it's the left indoctrinating everybody and we're the evil people that want to destroy the family unit and whatever the fuck.
These conservatives remind me of they remind me of that door guy, just like all up in my pockets, all up in my business, when the whole time like I just want to go inside, have a couple drinks, have fun, and then leave.
Yeah,
I'm the last person here that you have to worry about. Like,
I mean, and it's like, I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase "every conservative accusation is an admission," but it's like it's kind of true. Like,
Yeah.
they're saying, "Oh, the left preys on kids; they're predators. Like, trans people are indoctrinating our kids," and it's like, no, you are the ones doing that.
Yeah.
It's
Like
literally like you're banning books, you're
Florida.
blocking knowledge. They want to even ban discussing like Black history in Florida
Yeah.
because Ron DeSantis is a literal
I
piece
was
of
gonna
shit
say.
who can jump off a building.
Honestly,
And
all the stuff that I've seen on him lately has just blown my mind because I'm like, whoa, like you're taking this beyond like just politics. This is. I wake up, I see what he's saying, and then I close my phone because I'm like, this isn't good for my mental health. And at this point in time, there's nothing that I can do too much. And so let me just stay away from it. And I know that like, standing on the sidelines is definitely not the key or anything like that. But right now I'm protecting my mental health. So because
yeah,
dude is crazy. He's what?
don't say gay.
African American. What is it called? What is that called?
You talking about? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
The,
yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
know
like
what you're
one of
talking
those
about.
like things you have to check off in school. The racial, I don't know what it's called, but yeah, the fact that he even thinks that taking that away in schools is helping. And the reason why it really hurts me is because in middle school I loved Socratic seminars. I don't know if you had that, and that's kind of the reason why I wanted to have this podcast to start off is because I think that opposing sides or like a bunch of views need to be in the same room together and just talk, have a normal conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like politics, you get so caught up in like this side's right, this side's right. It's so binary, and that binaryism is not the key at all. It's like we need to find a middle ground, and that's why I feel like that's why I wanted to do the podcast in the first
Yeah.
place because we could just chop it up about real all the time,
Yeah.
So
I mean, you talk about binary, and it's like it doesn't have to be that way. We could have a multi-party system but it's so locked down at this point that nobody
Yeah.
wants to budge.
yeah,
I mean, there's like ranked choice voting, but that's slow take. Not everyone implements it, and the people that do, when Republicans lose, they immediately are like, "Oh, we got to get rid of it," because it's like people given more choices aren't going
Yeah.
to choose the party that's screwing them the most. Not to say that Democrats are angels; they certainly are not.
definitely.
But in terms of we just look at harm and like what is actually going on. If we talk about harm reduction, you don't get that in the conservative party. You get genocidal language. You get stoking of fears. You get a lot of preying on people's preconceived notions about things that they're not educated on, and you convince them that your narrative is the correct one.
Which is
And
really messed up because I saw Ben Shapiro speak at the Union one time. Dude, like
if I
all
see that,
he
if I
did-
ever see Ben Shapiro, I don't care about the case. I'm socking that
yeah,
motherfucker.
I wanted to. I was in the back. I didn't even know who he was, but I was in the middle of taking a argumentation class, like a debate class, and I was just hearing him argue, and I was like, this dude is full of fallacies. He thinks that he's right because of his age. He thinks that he's right because of his gender, because of his like racial identity. Yeah, he puts facts. He throws facts in to make it seem like he's like brilliant and smart. But I'm like, dude, you're not. This is a very like biased opinion, or which don't get me wrong. I don't even know how to explain it. I want somebody who understands both perspectives. He only defends one end of the spectrum, right? That binaryism or one and zero. I want him to be like, this side is right for this side is right for this. Let's do this. That's where I live, which kind of like gives into that multi-party idea.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is like we've commercialized politics, which
Yeah.
is something you don't really see in other. I mean, a little bit obviously, but like we've made a spectacle out of politics when it should be about the people. It's a team game. People watch political events like they're sports.
Yeah.
And it's like it irks me so much that people aren't like going out of their way to actually educate themselves on the topics that they think they know everything about because Tucker Carlson told them everything they thought they needed to hear. You know, it's like confirmation bias. You're just. I mean, I'm not immune to it, right? Like
Absolutely,
nobody's
that's the
immune to
thing,
confirmation bias, but like at least I know that most of my ideas can be backed up with evidence or, you know, there's human good in some of the policies that I believe in. Whereas,
Absolutely.
you know, you get nothing out of genocide except dead people.
Or taking away knowledge except dumb people. Like,
Yeah. I mean, Idiocracy was a predictive text,
yeah.
not a funny comedy movie, unfortunately.
Do you think that we're ever gonna like? I feel like confirmation bias. I feel like I'm thinking 20 years down the line. I don't see this getting better at all. I don't see it. I just don't at all. Do you see it getting better? I don't know if. Do you see like the I don't know, politics becoming uncommercialized within the next 20 years at all, or
No.
getting worse?
I mean, honestly, at this point, there is no slowing the train
Yeah.
of, you know, and we're gonna derail. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's fucked up.
Too
and
soon.
Well, yeah, but like it's serious, and I don't want to like alarm anybody, but if you're drawing comparisons to, you know, pre-war Germany, it's like almost 1-to-1
Yeah.
minus, you know, mass internment camps, which, you know, we'll see how soon we get there.
I
If
don't
it
even want to
happens.
laugh at that, but it's like I definitely believe that you're not far off. Like I agree with what you're saying, but the
Mhm.
idea in my head, I wish somebody would pull up to my door and be like, "Oh, you believe in like rights for everybody or some bullshit like that, right?" Yeah, I do. What you finna do about it? I got the Glock in the back, moving
Bro.
around, boy. Like I know the Constitution, but the thing is also like I'm an educated human, right? Like I know my not even just my rights, but I know what this country was founded upon, and it's crazy as like being an immigrant coming here at a young age. Even before I came here, America was, you know, and I know to some extent, not even to some extent, it definitely was its own bubble at the time. But
Mhm.
from the outside perspective of that bubble, America is supposed to be like you can come here and make whatever you want happen. I hit like 15. I was like, whoa, this country's not that at all.
No.
And it's gotten worse from that idea, right? From that idea, there's been maybe 2, 3 white men that I've met in my life who have truly like believed in true equality across the board, who had money too, right? Who had
Mm.
power, because
Mhm.
power means a lot whenever you're having these conversations. So, yeah, if you show up at my door like talking crazy like that, it's up. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
I'm
don't
more
know,
on the
man.
what's his name? It was Martin Luther King and who's the other one?
Malcolm X.
I'm more on the Malcolm X side.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you show up at my door like that.
I mean, you know what? And you know, I'm not necessarily an advocate that everyone should have guns, but I
Yeah.
do believe in the right to bear arms.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
if Marx was right about anything, he said, you know, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, or whatever the fuck he said.
Yup.
So you know, like I I keep seeing it on Twitter. People basically saying, "Hey, queer people, you need to like arm yourselves,
Yeah,
like legit,
honestly.
because the way the rhetoric is going, you are in danger."
Yeah,
You know,
no question. And I'm all for it. Yeah.
I want to. Oh
Get
man,
your Glockies, get your
yeah,
nines, bro.
yeah,
And do it the legal way. That way when you get caught up, you're good.
true, true,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's like I wanna go shooting with the boys
Yeah,
one day.
that would
That'd
be
be fun.
fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
Niggas
like,
got the AR out there,
yeah. Like, and this is why I'm the best at Call of Duty.
bro.
I have 5 bullseyes.
Can you imagine? Oh man, I don't know. I feel like I'd be good at shooting, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're calm enough to, yes, given like American Sniper, but like the better American Sniper.
True. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll be a sharpshooter one day.
Hell yeah. That movie was good. It made me cry.
American Sniper.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, okay, propaganda film, but
It definitely was. And I and I fell for it, but it was still a pretty they did a good job with the propaganda.
They
I'll say
did.
that
They
much.
did.
I was sold on it.
I just, you know, basically anytime you see like military equipment in an American film, it's funded by the army,
the
and
big
they
boys.
get their hands on the script and they can change whatever they want.
Yeah.
Which is, also not censorship. What's the word? It's like creating a false narrative.
Yeah. I guess it's propaganda.
Propaganda,
I
yeah.
don't know what-
And I'm not opposed to propaganda. I mean, leftists, everyone propagandizes.
It's the game.
It is the game.
Yeah.
But at some level, it's like our propaganda isn't murderous.
Yeah.
It's revolutionary, but it's not murderous, not genocidal.
C'est la vie. I'm just in here to be peaceful.
True.
Man. On the next episode, I think I'm going to try it. No, not the next one. The next one. I kind of want, like, this is a side note tangent, but
Okay.
I want viewers and, like, the public, whoever supports us, to kind of send in questions, answers. I don't know how to do that. Should I do, like, a Google form, you think?
You could.
I'll do
I
that.
would say, drop like a Google form or like you could even, I don't know what software exists for that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure you could find something easily. And that'd be interesting. I would love
Yeah.
to see like.
Because I want to hear, like, a lot of, again, Socratic seminars. I want to hear people's opinions on these things. So I might, like, do a 3-part, like, 3 sections. One on this whole politics. The second one on, I don't know what, but,
I mean, what do we talk about on this podcast? It's like politics, music, and sports.
Yeah.
I guess if you could talk about it, culture. Yeah. Which I'm totally not the. Every time you guys go onto a sports tangent, I'm like, okay.
Ironically, that's the first one on my docket for today.
Oh yeah, okay.
John Morant. Have you heard anything of this? I feel like you have.
Not really. I know he's kind of
in
some
hot
shit
water
right now, but
yeah.
I don't really know. I know he's like he thinks he's like some hood dude or something like that, right? Like he thinks he's tough
There's
shit.
a picture of this dude wearing like a Ralph Lauren polo and some Sperry's in front of his parents, and like all of a sudden, for some reason, he thinks that he can just. So what happened was, I think he was at a mall, if I'm not mistaken. He was at the mall, or his mother was at the mall, and apparently she was being I've heard different versions of this. Yeah. I heard his mother was at the mall being harassed by some youngins, and I've also heard that apparently he played like a 17-year-old in basketball at his house and like lost, and things got heated, and the 17-year-old went and got a gun. I've heard a bunch of stuff, but at the end of the day, I forget, this type of stuff reminds me how young he is, because you are on your road to be a superstar, like NBA basketball player, right? You're making millions. You literally bought a home here. You bought your mom and dad a house down the block. You can wake up, go outside and be like, hi, Dad, like in 2 different mansions. Yeah. What are you doing pulling up with, apparently the reports that 8 to 9 people, I think, to like intimidate a 17-year-old? You're fumbling a 6-figure bag.
It's just,
or not 6-figure. What's 100 million? How many figures is that?
That's
7.
100 million is 9.
9-figure bag.
Jesus. Yeah, man. It's all. I mean, if we want to get really into it, it's cultural shit. It's like, dudes think they have something to prove because it's like, oh, you're soft, or oh, you're rich, or whatever, and then dudes can't just separate that. I feel like people who get famous either learn to cope with people just disliking them because they are who they are, and what was my point? People just struggle to grip reality, the situation they're in, as soon as they get a bite, as soon as they become famous or whatever, because ego is so attached to fame, success, and we were talking about this previous podcast, your virtual self, even it's like its own, it takes on its own shape. So I guess people who let that shit get to them just end up being kind of dangerous almost for the community, for the culture, because they feel like they got some shit to prove where they really don't. It's like you'd be so much better off just ignoring the bullshit and whatever. It's like you are in a public you're in the public eye.
Yeah.
There's no way to avoid criticism, so why get worked up over it to begin with?
Genuinely, and honestly, I had a lot of respect for Ja, and the only reason why I still have respect for him is because he's young. I'm like, I forget that he just turned 23 or something like that. I'm like, I forget you really don't have real life experience. You're still coming off of puberty. Like, also you have all that clout like on your name. I'm sure you're used to wherever you're going, getting whatever you want, like type vibe. So it's something that ego will kill you though. It'll either make you or kill you if you know how to handle it or tame it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know what I would do if I, if and when we get famous, but it's like,
I'm smacking you with $100.
Yeah. But it's like, even at 23, I don't think I would have ever been so, like, I don't know, like, who in their right mind is like, oh, let's go jump a 17-year-old? Who thinks that's ever a good idea?
Sick. I'm like, and like flash guns at him. It's like, dude, he's 17. Like, unless bro's affiliated and has like numbers behind him and is an actual threat, that's a different conversation. But like, there's no way that this one little kid really, like, if he's disrespecting your mother, intimidate him a little bit, but like, be like, bro, you need a big bro him at that point. You feel like, be like, yo, this isn't how like real men handle these, like. You don't, even in war, right? Since the beginning of time, messing with women and messing with children have been like a no-go for a reason. And it's not to, feed that masculine like narrative. But if I'm Ja, just like, bro, move around. Don't mess with my moms. If you do this again, then we'll actually have a real big problem. End of story.
Yeah. And even then, it's like, I feel like half of these dudes are just empty threats. It's like, it's so empty. It's I want to be perceived like I'm hard. Yeah. Like I'm a hard nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is. And for what? For clout?
Bro.
You already have $100 million. What clout do you need?
Right. That's why I almost never I never really growing up got into roasting. I never got into anything. Like, if you had something to say about me, I'd literally be like, all right, let's step in the gym. Like I'm from the little bro you where it matters. Like, let's look at the grades. I'm from the little bro you where it matters type beat. So it's like, okay. I learned from an early age personally, like, masculinity is not, you just got to be comfortable in your own skin and also put in the work to like back up your comfortability, if that makes sense. Like, I would be in the gym working hard. I would be doing my homework every day. So it's like, cool. You got a little joke, haha.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Like, I've never really had like anybody come at me like that, thankfully.
Sure.
I've had a couple people like try and goad me into shit. And it's like, who are you? Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, can you leave me alone? I don't need this in my life. Like, you are just adding extra stress to my life. And it's unnecessary. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, it's some shit.
Age-old story, man.
Yeah.
That masculinity is a different type of beast, or like that ego, or like whatever it is. Mousepad, I was just texting him. He told me how to get everything going. I was like, oh, we're good. We're recording. He said he'll be home in an hour or less, which I wasn't expecting, though. So.
Oh, maybe he'll make the meeting.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, it's almost meeting time. What else we have on here? I wanted to talk big data with you and like
big
Facebook.
Data? Oh yeah.
And like privacy.
I'm the guy to talk to about that.
That's like a.
We can chop it up. What time is it?
6:50.
Oh damn, we've been at it for a second.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm down to talk big data. Like what aspect, I guess?
Just the way that we truly have no privacy. So, for instance, would you consider going off the grid in order to have that privacy?
No, it's like at some level I know that I'm giving up certain privacy rights to engage with these platforms, and I've said this before, but like social media is free because you are the product. Your data is what is driving e-commerce, what is driving ads, all of that. So it's like it's a multi-layered pie, I guess you
Yeah.
could call it. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's complicated, and I don't necessarily know if there's like a true solution. I think in an ideal world, right, you would be able to um, either pay for the services you want to use without having your data harvested, or you can engage with those platforms for free with the assumption that you are, you
The
know,
product.
you are the product. And I've said this before too with the Facebook
Hmm.
verified thing, but it's like, you know, I would rather almost like if there was a social media platform that I thought was worth it enough to pay for, um, I would do it in a heartbeat if I knew I wasn't going to get my shit harvested. Like if
Yeah.
Google came out tomorrow,
Oh, huge.
because Google is obviously like the biggest
Top
one.
dog.
If Google came out tomorrow with like a, hey, here's a plan, we're not going to use your data, basically this fees to cover the costs of us not harvesting your data,
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. That's more transparent to me than what goes on currently with
Yeah.
the way our data is used and harvested. And even just, I mean, it's insane now, like the amount of data being shoved into AI algorithms to try and drive you to different websites or try to get you to believe in different shit.
Yeah.
It's like even TikTok. I mean, as much as I like TikTok for keeping me current, or like whatever, with events, it's like at the end of the day, that algorithm is just an AI predicting where you want to be. And so if you engage in the platform and it keeps pushing you more extreme content
Yeah.
and you keep liking it, well, it's going to drive you further and further into extreme
Confirmation
content
bias.
and
Yeah.
confirmation bias. Exactly. So it's a dangerous game, and it's extremely unregulated right now.
Extremely, dude.
I feel like, in the past, all of these major industries have had their kind of regulatory bodies. Um, I mean, nowadays they're kind of stripped away, right?
Yeah.
But in back in the day, all of these industries had major legislation surrounding them so that they wouldn't get too powerful, they wouldn't exploit people too much, and we have none of that now. It's kind of like free
It's the wild,
reign to
wild west.
do whatever you want with the data you have that you've
Absolutely.
captured, and it enables. I mean, I'm sure. Have you heard of like the Facebook genocides?
No, fill me in.
So in Myanmar, there have you heard of like the Myanmar genocide specifically?
No, the
Okay,
last
so
genocide I knew was when you had to make your Facebook picture. Who is it, Kofi?
I don't know.
Okay.
But a couple years ago, basically, there was, and I'm not sure if it's still going on or not. There's millions of refugees around the world of Rohingya Muslims from I want to say Burma, who were basically targeted and systematically killed because Facebook um, Facebook in other countries is uh, sorry. We just had Goofy walk
Yeah.
in. Yes. What was my point?
That's his time.
Yeah. Basically, all of these countries, or what am I saying? What am I saying?
Burma.
Yeah. Basically, Facebook in pretty much every other country is not as regulated as it is in English because they don't have the staff. They don't necessarily want to pay all these people to
Yeah.
moderate, and so you get literally Facebook groups dedicated to like hunting people, like, and it's insane, but it happens all the time.
Like, oh, I don't know why I'm not talking to the mic. That's beyond like. There's no way that the fact that that's still a real thing and like a ongoing issue is so. It irks me. Yeah, I love the U.S. for this because there are moderators, there's regulation and all that stuff within Facebook, even though it could be a lot better. But the fact that this is still happening in the rest of the world is
and it's not that's not the only place it's happened.
Yeah.
It happens in India all the time because India and
India's a
Pakistan
mass,
are
1.3 billion people. Like, that's a place to get big data.
Yeah. So it's just insane, man.
Yeah.
Like the amount of atrocities that happen on Facebook, and nobody really, like, people talk about it, but it's not something that's on the mind of your average American. Right?
I used to work at NCSA, and I used to work under a data scientist.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it, like, on the insides. I had an internship there, and we were just I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible without throwing anybody, like, under the bus, but we were mining data, and his data was definitely their data. Awkward. Their data was definitely out there to help minorities, but it definitely had a unforeseen, like, there was definitely not backlash. There was a negative effect on minorities that he didn't even think about in the end. And I'm trying to keep this, like, as clean cut as possible, but actually being, like, in the trenches of big data is disgusting. And you know what NCSA is, like, one of the biggest supercomputers in the US.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's like
privacy doesn't exist, and
I mean, even just kind of side tangent, like AIs that are trained with existing data will be trained with existing biases.
yeah.
So, what responsibility do these people have to unbias their data? What are they doing to
And how do you even
prevent
that?
harm? I mean,
because all the data is biased, and an AI is supposed to be what, a fake human? Who is this?
Okay, we're wrapping up soon. Okay, people keep walking in here, so I think we should wrap up soon.
We need to finish this conversation later. I'll add on the docket this conversation about biased data and the effects on, like, I don't know, society as a whole, because
it's a very important topic. Like, it's there's so much nuance to it, and people, again, it's like it's not in the public conscious. People aren't thinking about, oh, my data is being used. My data is being used to create algorithms which, can harm people, and it's just kind of insane how much people are maybe not willing to, but, like, people just trust data to be correct because they think all data is objective, and it's just not.
Absolutely not.
If I learned anything in stats,
I was just about to say, this is coming from somebody who did stats. Come on now.
Yeah. If I learned anything in stats, it's like there is such a thing as unbiased data, but you have to be so methodical
that it
doesn't. You just kind of end up almost biasing your own data to account for the bias in people, which is, a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough. It's complicated, and I certainly don't have a solution.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something we should keep talking about because it's it's fucking important.
The more we talk about it, the more I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, we got everybody coming in, so
yep.
Appreciate y'all. It's been cool, or my bad. It's been a crispy whip episode.
Hell yeah.
I want to run one of these back because that was really good.
Yeah,
that was a nice
man.
little deep one.
All
deep
right.
cut.
Well, shit. You guys have a good rest of your day.
Yo.
Go stream Half House as always.
Yo.
Album's coming out late March, so go peep that when that releases.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.